Hello again, FlossTube. It's Cowgirl Kate again. This is kind of a little hi Beverly because she thought I ought to look like a cowgirl if I'm gonna have the name. So it's kind of unusual wearing my hat in the house because it's more of a, it hangs by the door, and when I go outside in warm weather, you know, that's kind of my uniform, so it's kind of strange to be wearing it here in the house. So probably looks a little out of place, you know, in here, but whatever, we'll roll with it. So hi Beverly, you were right. I thought today I'd go over the leap day start. I decided what that was going to be, and then a tag or two depending on how much time my camera will let me have. So to start things off, I have the Chatelaine that I decided to do for the leap year start, and that is this one. And it kind of reminds me of an octopus right now, like it has tentacles or something. But this is the Fairy Garden Mandala by Chatelaine. I'm stitching it on a 28 count light mocha, and when I bought it, the fabric was sold to me as an even weave, but you know, now that I'm actually looking at it and, you know, monkeying around with the project, it's actually a linen. So that's okay. You know, I don't, you know, either one is fine with me. I just, I guess I got kind of a bargain because they had it, this big chunk of even weave in the clearance bin, and I just picked it up and thought, well, hey, that'll work for something big. And looking at it, it was not a Lugana, but it is in fact an even weave. Sorry, it is in fact a linen, not an even weave. Oh, I can't talk today. I think it's the camera. So the tags that I have kind of been seeing lately, I've been writing them down. See, I got my notes here, just keep track of all the questions and stuff because there's no way I can keep all that in my head. So we'll be getting to a couple of those newer ones that are going around. Some of the older ones are very cool, but I just thought maybe I'd have time for a couple of the shorter ones. Before I get into that, I want to send out a couple of shout outs. I'd like to kind of make that a new thing. If I find some new bloggers that are new to FlossTube, I'd like to, you know, give them a little shout out and kind of, you know, help people find out about them, because it always helps. One is Rose Chin. She's got some videos out now, and so you could, you know, just kind of mosey on over and see what she's got going on. Another is Stitching Black Cat, and that's cat with a K, and also Atlantica Dream Stitches. So they're all new, or at least new to me. Maybe you guys know, have, you know, seen them before, but you know, I hadn't, so I thought, well, hey, I'll give them a shout out on mine and, you know, just kind of build this networking thing up a little more. So I'll link them in the video description so you can find them a lot easier. So that's that. That's my shout outs for today. For the tag, I thought I'd start with Kate the Queen of Starts. She had a tag called the Pearl Tag, and it was kind of funny because it was all about the things that irritate you, and you know, to think about that is kind of funny in and of itself, but you know, it's a hobby, and you know, like anything, there are going to be things that kind of bug you. But her questions were, what irritates you most about cross stitch and why? For me, I would have to say the investment of time. You know, especially designs like Chatelaines and Hades, Heaven and Earth. The bigger designs, you do invest a lot of time in them, but I have a little counter for that because, you know, for when people are sitting there watching TV, and let's say that's all they're doing when, you know, they're sitting there. And yeah, I know it sounds weird to me. I couldn't fathom doing it. But, you know, they're just sitting there watching TV and they're enjoying themselves, and that's their hobby and how they like to unwind and so forth. Well, say a show is an hour long, you know, the time they spent watching that show is kind of time lost to me. I mean, that's just how my brain perceives it. So, you know, at least the time that I'm sinking into these projects, someday, you know, it'll wind up on a wall or a blanket or, you know, whatever, and that'll be kind of a record of how I spent my time. But yeah, they do take a lot of time. They're not an instant gratification thing by any means, but there again, that's what makes it a little more special. It's because you have to work at it so much. Question number 2. What designer irritates you most and why? Now I had to really stop and think about that question because for me, there really isn't a designer that irritates me. It more boils down to, you know, my abilities or my capabilities to deal with certain designs or, you know, whatnot. What would be a good example? Okay, like a design that would have a lot of fractional stitches. Like say a Teresa Wensler. Not that I don't love her, I have a whole box full of her stuff, but I'll get to elaborate more on that. There's a lot of fractional stitches, there's a lot of back stitching, and there's a lot of different colors of back stitching for different areas of the project. Now, I don't find that irritating. I find it very challenging. But what irritates me is to find the time to be able to focus on that project alone with like nothing else, you know, going around that I have to think about. But to be able to focus on that project alone, to give it the time and the attention that it deserves, it's frustrating to me because I don't get that very often. So it's not necessarily the designer or the style of project or the complexity of it. It's more I don't have the time to focus on that is what irritates me. So, you know, it's kind of like that because I love Teresa Wensler's. I collected all of hers that I could find, you know, a decade ago, and I still have that box. I don't have the time to focus on them like they require. So, question number 3. What stitch irritates you the most and why? And that would probably have to be back stitching. And not because it's complicated, but because in my brain, you know, that section is pretty much finished, but you have to go over and do the detail work of it. So there's a process to it. You have to wait till that section is done before you can do that step of it. So, you know, there again, it's just I don't have the time to focus on it, and it needs to be done in order for the design to look good. So that kind of gets on me a little bit, but it's not because of the stitch itself, it's because of my time crunch. What irritates me most about non-stitchers? I guess there's many ways of looking at this, but I'm going to try to narrow it down to a one-word answer, and that's time. They either kind of fall into 2 categories where they think it's either something that doesn't take any time at all and you could just, you know, whip it up like that and, you know, whatever, and you're done. Cross stitch ain't like that. Needlework is not like that. It takes time and patience and effort to, you know, get to how it should look nice, or, you know, however. That kind of bugs me, or that they think it's a waste of time. And there again, or a waste of money. And, you know, there again, when I'm confronted with that kind of opinion, I try to give an example. Well, okay, you know, it kind of goes back to the, you sat in front of the TV for an hour, what do you have to show for it? I sat down at this project and this is what I have to show for it. It might not be a lot, and many times it isn't a lot, but at the end it's going to look like something, rather than an hour of my life that I'm not going to get back, and all I have is oh yeah, did you see the new American Idol? Or, oh yeah, did you see The Bachelor? So and so got kicked off. You know, to me, you know, that sort of thing isn't whatever. At least I have something to show for what I did. And there again, with the whole, it's a big waste of money. Look at how expensive the projects are. Let's just break that down. Even for a chatelaine, and everybody knows those kits are huge. Those kits are expensive. But if you break it down, like say the average price of a kit would be around $300, give or take. That's a huge chunk of money. A huge chunk of money. But then when you stop and think, okay, a lot of people have a bottle of pop every day. That's $1.25, $1.50 right in there. Okay, if you give up one bottle of pop a day, you're going to have that kit in less than a year. You know, one bottle of pop a day. That's it. You're going to have it in less than a year. What are you going to get out of that? Okay, let's break it down even farther. Say you bought a kit for 30 bucks. Now, how many hours are you going to spend on that project? For me, and it's, you know, a kit, you know, a substantial size kit or project or whatever, you're going to probably spend around 70 to 80 hours average for $30. Average of price of a kit. Now, a movie ticket, that's around $15. A meal, you know, in a nice restaurant, that's about $15 per person. So there's $30 right there. And your meal was probably an hour, and the movie is probably an hour and a half. So there's 2.5 hours for $30 versus $80 with a $30 kit. We are spending pennies on a hobby that's going to keep us busy, entertained, sane for that much time. You know, come on. You know, there's people that are blowing money, you know, $6 on a pack of cigarettes, and, you know, they blow them up in a day. You know, I mean, it's all relative. What people spend their money on, who cares? You know, but it does get irritating having to justify something that takes so long and is so expensive, and so why would you want to do that? You know, I just feel that people in general should not have to justify their enjoyment if it's not hurting anyone else. That's kind of my beef with non-stitchers and some of the things that they say to people who enjoy this hobby. It's kind of like, you know, live and let live. Come on. What irritates me most about stitchers themselves? Okay, I'm just gonna throw this out there. What I don't like is y'all live far away. I mean, God, sometimes it's like I'm in the middle of nowhere. All the cool people live far away, you know, and there's retreats and there's, you know, get-togethers and stitchy nights and all that sort of thing. oh, it'd just be so cool. You know, it'd be so cool to round everybody up and just, you know, have a big party. I would love to do that. But all the people that I know live far away. So, yeah, you guys are just too far away. There's a couple ladies in my area that are a bucket of fun. I mean, whenever we're able to get the chance to go have a stitchy day, we make the most of it. But it's rather hard to do with everybody's schedules and, you know, everybody's families and, you know, all the other things that, you know, come first before you get to run around and have fun. So I mean, it's hard to mesh that, but we have fun when we do get together. But it just seems rare, and, you know, if y'all are lucky to have a stitchy buddy that lives nearby and you can spend a lot of time, oh God, treasure them. You know, they are wonderful souls. Just, you know, treasure them, because not everybody's that lucky. So I'd say that's probably what irritates me most about stitchers is location, location, location. Most of them live really far away, or, you know, life is what it is, and you don't always have time to, you know, goof around and stuff. So anyway, though, I guess those are my little pearls for Kate the Queen of Starts' pearl tag. So yeah, I really wish we did live in a Pollyanna world, because God, that'd be so awesome. It really would. But reality, we don't, and, you know, can't help that. Other than your own outlook and your own actions. So anyway, I want to thank you all for stopping by to watch. I know it's kind of the beginning of the month, end of the last month, so there's a lot of new videos going out. I'm hoping to get caught up and, you know, catch everybody, so just give me time and I will. So thank yous for watching. Take care of yourselves, and see y'all next time. Bye.